Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I let her out into the backyard because she likes to play around and get fresh air. All of a sudden I hear this screaming. I go through the front door and I see her being chased by her deranged cat.
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Barbara Toomey is suing Carl Anderson in the amount of $1,300. Ms. Toomey claims Mr. Anderson threw her cat into oncoming traffic, and she feels Mr. Anderson is responsible for the cat's veterinarian bills. Mr. Anderson claims the plaintiff's cat attacked his daughter, and he had to do what was necessary.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. All right, so this case involves you, Ms. Toomey, who your cat died, and
Yes.
you want Mr. Anderson to pay $1,300.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson, you're countersuing for $3,500 because your daughter, I take it, was somehow injured by the cat.
That's correct.
I'm going to start with you, Ms. Toomey. What happened?
I found this homeless, wounded, limping cat knocking around the neighborhood around 5 months ago.
Yes.
And I felt sorry for it. I'm a lover of animals. I'm a nurse. That's my job. I look after people. I care for them. I try and help them. Doesn't matter if it's people, animals, any living thing.
Did you have other cats at the time?
I didn't have other cats.
Okay.
No.
All right, and you decided that you would help this one particular cat?
Yes.
This was a stray cat, though?
Yes.
Okay.
So initially, I just to be kind, I started leaving food out for the cat, leaving a bit of water.
On your property?
Yes, just outside the door.
And how long did you do that?
I did that for about 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
And when I saw that the cat comes and eats and drinks and is a regular and was starting to trust me, then I decided to actually take the cat a bit more seriously, as it were, to be
Why?
a bit more. I had created this bond, this attachment to this cat, and I just felt sorry for it.
Other than you just leaving food out, at this point, this is either someone else's cat or just some stray cat.
No one had actually come to claim the cat.
The cat was spending a lot of time at your property?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Did you consider the cat yours at that point?
No, not yet.
Because 2 or 3 weeks, that's a relationship that you're starting to have now, right?
Yes.
And the cat seemingly is responding to the relationship.
Yes.
All right. And then what happens after the 3-week period?
So after that, I went and sought the advice of a vet, a friend of mine who's a vet.
Why? Was the cat seemingly not getting any healthier?
The stomach of the cat started getting bigger slightly,
Yes.
and I was very concerned that he might be getting worms or he might have had something in his stomach. I was advised to feel around the stomach, the tummy area of the cat.
And this stray cat allowed you to feel around its tummy?
Well, actually, he was becoming very friendly with me, yes.
Okay.
Yes, he trusted me.
Okay.
Yes. I felt around and I realized that the cat that I thought was a he and I had named Charlie was actually a she, and she was pregnant.
Mr. Anderson, you live next, is it exactly next door to Miss
That's
Toomey?
correct.
How long have the two of you been neighbors?
6 months, sir. Your Honor.
You moved into the area.
That's
She had
right.
already been there.
That's right.
All
And
right.
when I moved into the house, I came across this cat. This cat had been illegally squatting in my house. And
The same cat we're talking about.
Yeah. I had a relationship with this cat, well, quote-unquote relationship with this cat.
Mm-hmm.
And he had been, damaging my house, and the whole place smelled of cat pee. I had to do major cleanup, and I shooed
Was the
him
house
away.
vacant prior to you moving into it?
Yeah, that is correct.
I see. Okay.
And so I had to clean up the cat
That's
pee.
why he was in such close proximity. Well, you had to have seen the cat even before that.
I had
Or you
seen
didn't
him
really
knocking
notice
about, yes, but not on a regular basis. Not
But
every
you
day.
noticed that the cat seemingly was in some sort of distress.
Yes, absolutely.
Not realizing that the cat was getting ready to have a litter.
Yes.
All right. You knew about the cat. You had a different sort of, I take it, perspective on the cat. Like, this is an issue, a problem.
Right. Well, it's a problem I took care of by shooing the cat out of my house.
Right.
Yeah, this is just an alley cat. I mean, to be frank, I mean, this is kind of a vermin is what I would call it from where I'm from in the country.
But you guys are from Arizona, and you're not in the country, you're in a city, and you see this cat, you decide, I'm going to help it. You find out the cat's pregnant.
Yes.
And do you keep the cat and the relationship with the cat until it delivers?
So I actually had the help of one of my neighbors, one of my other neighbors, who came over and built a den for me. That's how much support I had from the whole neighborhood. Everyone knows me.
Well, how do you get the whole neighborhood? You mentioned one person.
No. The whole neighbor, I mean, I've lived there for longer than 6 months before Mr. Anderson came over. Everybody knows that I'm a nurse. Everybody knows how much I love animals.
Okay.
Before Charlie came
Do you have
along,
any animals at home?
Yes.
What other animals do you have?
I have a golden retriever.
Okay.
Who is very tame. She's absolutely lovely.
The
I've got
golden retriever and the cat got along?
the golden retriever's in the house. The cat will stay outside.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. And so you have the dog. Anything else?
I've got a little bunny rabbit
Okay.
who sleeps indoors, but then I let him roam around the garden during
And the bunny
day.
and the cat don't have issues?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, I
So
love
you had
animals.
a
I mean,
bunny, a dog, and now you are developing a relationship with a cat.
and I've
that
even
now
got
has,
2 little birds in the house as well.
And you have what else?
2 little birds that I found in
You're
a
like
nest.
Dr. Doolittle.
I just love animals. I don't have children of my own, Your Honor. For whatever reason, God hasn't seen fit to give me children of my own. So I suppose this is one way of me showing my love and affection for God's creatures.
Fair enough.
Coming up on America's Court.
I said, does your dad know that you're here? And she said, yes. So I allowed her to come in and take a look. I didn't physically go and grab her hand and bring her in. So the fact that she was outside,
Yeah, but
I
that's an
assumed the father
invitation,
knew
Your
exactly
Honor.
where she is.
That's an invitation.
All right.
And you should probably clear it with the child's father.
Closed captioning provided by This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
We're back with the case of Barbara Toomey, who is suing Carl Anderson for vet expenses.
If the cat is always there and the cat was there previously with your daughter would have had some sort of relationship because she's seen the cat every day, right?
I don't know whether they have a relationship. I haven't seen physical contact between my daughter.
I'm just saying that the daughter's there and the cat's there, and she's, how old is your daughter?
My daughter's 9 years old.
She's 9.
Yes.
At some point, kids are fascinated with animals.
Right. That's correct.
Your Honor, when they moved in 6 months ago, I actually had the privilege of meeting Mr. Anderson's ex-wife, Peggy, a lovely lady, who came over just to say hi. She introduced herself and her daughter, 2 lovely chicks. I got on with them really well.
Now wait, did you all move in together and then you all separated? Is that what happened?
No. We've been divorced 3 years, Your Honor.
You don't live in the same household?
No.
You have custody of the daughter, though?
Shared custody with her mother.
Your daughter doesn't live with you every day?
No, she does not
right.
live with me every day.
Okay. Then
Peggy
that
had
makes
come to
sense in
drop
terms
off
of
the
the
daughter.
cat. Your daughter's not seeing the cat all the time.
No.
How often are you spending time with your daughter at your house?
Every other weekend, Your Honor.
Every other weekend?
Yes.
So about 4 days out of the month, that's when you spend time with your daughter at
That's
your house?
correct, yes.
But you've already met the daughter and the ex-wife?
Yes.
And you had some sort of relationship with the daughter?
So Peggy came over to bring Katie to the house, and that's where we met for the first time. I told them about myself. I told them that I live here, that I love animals. So I had a relationship from that moment onwards with Peggy and with Katie.
All right.
So,
and when your daughter Katie would come over, do you recall there being situations where she would want, I take it, to go see the bunny and the birds and the dog and the cat, and right?
No. I just, she would go in the backyard to get fresh air. And I found out much later, post-incident, that, Barb had invited my daughter over without my permission or knowledge to go see the kittens.
Your Honor, the word
Because you would see her
invited-
outside, and then, is that what happened?
Yes, allow me to correct that, please. You
invited her over.
I didn't invite her over, no. I was tending to Charlie and the kittens. I was just making sure that they were in their den, they were safe. I bought some new toys for the kittens, and I was just scattering them around the den for them to play around. And out of the corner
den
of
is
my
outside?
eye, yes,
All
yes,
right.
outside. It has a shutter. The gate closes, it has a latch on, I keep them nice and safe. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Katie standing, looking over the fence. She could see what I was doing. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just looking after the cat and the kittens." She said, "Can I come over and see?" I said, "Does your dad know you're here?" And she said, "Yes." So I allowed her to come into my garden thinking
Well, when
that
you
the
say,
father
does your
knows.
dad know you're here? Of course he knows she's in the backyard, but
Yes.
she wouldn't know if she left the yard and went over to your house.
I said, does your dad know that you're here? And she said, yes. So I allowed her to come in and take a look. I didn't physically go and grab her hand and bring her in.
All right.
So the fact that she was outside,
Yeah, but
I
that's an
assumed the father
invitation,
knew
Your
exactly
Honor.
where she is.
That's an invitation.
All right.
And you should probably clear it with the child's father.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
It's Katie's voice. I go through the front door and I see her being chased by her deranged cat.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
We're back with the case of Barbara Toomey, who is suing Carl Anderson for vet expenses.
Ultimately, the cat ended up causing harm to Katie. How did that come about?
I was at work that day. Now, can we just go back to the very first incident when I was looking after the cat and the kittens, and Katie came over to see what I was doing. When she came in my garden, I was there, and I explained to her very clearly several times. I said, Katie, you cannot come in my garden when I'm not here because I have animals around. There is no way that I give you permission to open that cage because those animals, you might think that they're cute and you want to play with the kittens, but that mummy cat is going to think that you're harming her babies.
This is the
So
conversation
she
you
might
had
hurt
with Katie.
you. I explained
And Katie
to
is
her.
9.
That's right.
Yes.
And did you know that she was a special needs child?
I was not aware that she was special
Okay.
needs.
All
If
right.
she's special
So,
needs, she
ma'am,
would have had to be
ma'am,
with you 24/7.
You already had this conversation with your neighbor.
Yes.
And just because she's special needs, depending on where she is on the spectrum, he may not necessarily need to be with her 24 hours a day. There are some kids that can't function and have other challenges.
I was not aware that she had...
But that
any-
becomes important because you're talking to her and she's 9. As if, okay, I only need to have this conversation once and she's absorbing everything that I'm saying and she's going to take, well, but that's not how kids function.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who has a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old and they don't listen. Do you understand? I got to
Yes.
say it over and over and over again.
Yes.
But obviously she made it a point to be responsible and explain to the child. Now the problem was that you weren't there. She's at your house and ends up in her yard.
I had
That's
explained to her very clearly that, Katie, when I'm not here, every single morning, Your Honor,
How did she
before
get
I
into
leave-
your yard then?
Before I leave the house every single morning, the latch of the cage is locked. My gate is locked, so nobody can come in. And you physically have to open it in order to come in. It's not one of those where a gust of wind can open it.
All right.
I had explained to her.
And ultimately she's at the house while you're gone, and next thing you know, she's in your backyard.
Apparently so.
What happened?
I let her out into the backyard because she likes to play around, get fresh air. All of a sudden, I hear this screaming. It's Katie's voice. And I hear it from the front yard, and I go through the front door, and I see her being chased by her deranged cat from her yard across to my yard. She falls and trips.
A cat who's trying to
Ma'am,
protect her litter.
you're not there, right? Ms. Toomey, you're not there, right?
Yes.
And the cat wasn't able to convey to you what happened, so the only person that can convey to me what happened was this gentleman. And so what are you seeing? She trips?
She trips, she
The
falls
cat
her head.
is
The cat
being
has
aggressive.
chased her, has followed her into my yard, our front yard.
Right.
Coming up on America's Court.
And so I do what any rational parent would do. I go to protect my child.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
We're back with the case of Barbara Toomey, who is suing Carl Anderson for vet expenses.
So you see her on the ground, and is the cat on top of her after she fell?
No, she's hovering right, the cat is hovering right by her.
Okay.
And so the cat had followed her from her yard to our front yard.
Right.
And I see that she's been bitten. And so I do what any rational parent would do. I go to protect my child. I pick up the cat and I just fling it away from my daughter.
What happened to the cat once you threw it?
I didn't see. All I know is I picked up my daughter.
And took
that
her
was my
inside.
priority
Right.
at that point. Picking up my daughter and getting her into the house and tending to her wounds.
All right. And these are the monies that you want Ms. Toomey to pay based on those wounds?
Yeah, that's
You
correct. I have
proof
the
of that?
paperwork right here.
Yes, I'll take a look at that. What ended up happening to the cat, Ms. Toomey? Thanks.
When I got home, Your Honor, I found Charlie lying on the ground, just making very faint noises. I was shocked. I just went and picked him up. I went and banged on his door. Why is my cat here? What have you done to my cat?
Ultimately, the way you're talking like you're the owner of the cat. You said the cat was homeless, so after a while, the way it works in Arizona is after 6 days, if you are having a relationship with an animal, you are considered the owner.
Yes.
Part of being the owner is making sure that the cat is licensed, has been given shots, because if the cat ended up attacking his daughter, part of your fees, I take it,
Rabies shots.
you needed rabies shots.
I couldn't take the cat for vaccinations, Your Honor, because when I found the cat, she was pregnant.
But the cat, once the kittens had been delivered, if you assume the ownership of it, you're responsible for it being licensed and registered, because part of that process is if the cat becomes problematic, it needs to be on record, because there may have to be situations where the cat is put down after the cat is attacked. We don't know how Katie got in there. We don't know if you left the gate open or she got in on her own. The problem is there's something in the law called an attractive nuisance. And an attractive nuisance, for instance, if you have a swimming pool and you live next door to kids, the law says you can't just have a gate. You got to have a gate within your gate surrounding that pool.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
The challenge that we have is you invited the child over. You had a conversation about this is the right way and wrong way to deal with pets. She's 9. She has special needs.
I wasn't aware of that.
So that whole issue of whether or not that shields you from liability, I can't find that it does. So based on the evidence and testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down for Mr. Anderson in his favor. So you will pay him that $3,500. Now, as it relates to your claim of the monies for the cat that resulted from him throwing the cat, if an animal is attacking a human being, an animal is considered property as opposed to a human being. Human beings are given more weight. And so if a piece of property ends up being destroyed to protect life, the law allows for that.
I'm sure if I was in Mr. Anderson's shoes, I would do the same, go and protect my child.
Then you'll understand what I'm getting ready to say.
But that cat
I
was
cannot
protecting her
sustain your
children
burden
as well.
as to making him pay in that moment of saving his child. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff is ordered to pay $3,500.
I'm very happy I came to court today, and I think the judge is correct in ruling that a child's life was more important than a cat's.
I'm very surprised in the ruling. It seems you should be a lot more careful when you've got pets and children around.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.